Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this video on the Cancer new moon. So this new moon marks a significant turning point of the year because on the same day that we have the sun and the moon meeting up in Cancer, which makes it a new moon, we also have the nodal axes changing signs. The North Node moving into Aries and the South Node in Libra. And these can also be seen as the karmic nodes, the nodes of destiny. In your unique birth chart, the North Node reveals so much about your path and your purpose this lifetime, what your soul is here to evolve into, the traits and the skills and the talents and the lessons that you are learning this lifetime. And the South Node reveals a lot about the past. So shadow aspects of the self that you are here to release and let go of, as well as the gifts and the talents that your soul cultivated in previous lifetimes that you bring into this lifetime to support your journey and your mission. So when we collectively see the nodes changing signs, there's a collective shift in energy and focus. So we're going to look at that today as well. Now, before I pull up my chart and go into this in more detail, I want to share with you some of the overall themes that I'm feeling from this energy. I really took time feeling into the chart because there is so many changes that are happening, like around the time of the new moon, that are really carrying us through for the rest of the year. It's quite significant. So there's definitely a theme here of internal shifting and changing. The Cancerian archetype relates to our inner world. And in order to see anything change externally, we first have to make that internal change. And if we don't, and we're just trying to effect change, wanting something to be different in our world, but we haven't done the work of looking at our mindset, our belief systems, healing of trauma, it becomes really hard to create change externally. Or that's where we can feel like we make some progress, but then we're back where we started. And I'm in no way suggesting that we have to just isolate ourselves and heal and do all of this work before we experience beautiful things or before we share our work with the world. Not at all. I think it's a dance that we are always in. We are always called to do the internal work. And at every point in our life where there's an up level or an expansion, it becomes another opportunity to do that inner work again. And because this archetypal energy of Cancer is so focused on the internal world, and you'll see with some of the aspects being made here, there is a focus on how you are changing, how you are shifting, as well as how you are connecting to your true self. Another message I heard very strongly from the Akashic Records, because when I look at these new and full moon charts, I'm studying the astrology. I'm also receiving messages from the records. So a message that dropped in very strongly is you are connecting more to your true self than ever before. The true self being who you are beyond the identities you may have played in, the labels you've taken on. It's who you are at your core. You're coming back to that. And there's a new version of you that is emerging, but it actually feels more connected to your truth than ever before. Another big theme around this new moon is intuition and the message that your intuition is sending you. The Cancerian energy is very connected to feeling and intuition, and the aspect that this new moon is making to Neptune is really connecting you to your instinctual nature, the wisdom of your soul. So really listen to that voice within you. Take time to block out the noise around you, to stop comparing your journey to anyone else's and come back and really feel into what is that inner voice saying to you at this time? Where are you being called? The answers you seek, the solutions you are seeking, they're all available to you. But our work is to align our frequency so we are a match to the solutions we are seeking. And a lot of that can be coming back to our blueprint, coming back to our truth. So I'm going to share my screen here and give you a visual representation of some of these beautiful energies we are playing in at this time. So the new moon over here, we have the sun and moon conjunct in the zodiac sign of Cancer. So some other archetypal energies that surround Cancer is the mother archetype. This is about how you are nurturing yourself. This can also bring forward some wounds around motherhood wounds, sisterhood wounds, where we are stuck in comparison, where we may not be mothering ourselves, giving ourselves that love, that support, that nurturance that we crave and that our inner child may be needing. In the shadow aspect, this can be a time to look at where we are putting up walls that prevent us from feeling. So Cancer is represented by the crab. So it's that tough outer shell, but that soft underbelly. And this can be ways that we've put up walls in order to protect ourselves from feeling, in order to protect ourselves from feeling vulnerable. But all that really does is prevent us from really connecting. And we end up feeling very isolated when we do that. So this can be a call to look at, where am I not allowing myself to feel? Because I'm afraid of the emotion. I'm afraid of feeling disappointment or sadness or grief, or some of those emotions we may label as unwanted. And this is a call to allow yourself to feel. I mean, honestly, with a Cancer new moon, you're going to feel anyway. It's just about, are you going to allow yourself to feel those emotions? So feel what emerges and notice where you do have those walls up in your life that are actually preventing you from developing a strong sense of connection. I love how Brene Brown talks about this, how vulnerability actually allows us to connect with other people when we allow ourselves to be seen and our truth. There is so much power in that. And it gives other people permission to do the same. And then we can actually feel like we're forming genuine connections because we're not connecting with people from a facade, but we're allowing our heart to be felt, our true self to be seen. And there's something so, so beautiful about that. So there is a couple big aspects that this new moon is making, a few really. The first one I want to look at here is this sextile with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So this is where we see the theme emerging around change and transformation. Uranus is the awakener, the disruptor, the rebel, and where it is sextiling, which is a harmonious connection, the new moon, this is about that internal change, how you are evolving and changing. So if you're frustrated with a certain area of your life and you feel that things aren't flowing the way that you know is possible in your heart, this is a call to look at who you are invited to become in that process. What do you need to let go of? What are you invited to step into to allow yourself to align with what you desire? Internal shifting and changing, so huge with this. And a download that came through from the records, it was earlier this week or maybe last week, and I shared it as a post on Facebook as well. And it's not about waiting for the universe to deliver what you want. It's about remembering your power to transform your energy so you align with what you desire. So anytime we're in that waiting energy, I'll sometimes hear this with my clients, or I'll catch myself in it, of course. It's like we're waiting. Nobody likes that waiting energy. And that's because it's really not supposed to be about a waiting energy. It's about how we're transforming and evolving in the process. It's how we are internally changing to align with what we desire. It's about looking for evidence of what we desire in our surroundings, not just sitting there waiting. And this also doesn't mean that we are pushing or forcing. This is a deep metamorphosis. This is an allowing, it's an alchemizing. It's a coming back to our power, basically, to change and shift our frequency and our energy. So this new moon really speaks to that. The other main aspect here is this beautiful trine. So this beautiful trine with the new moon and Neptune in Pisces. So we have some more water energy coming into play here. And the Cancerian energy is naturally very intuitive. It is one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac. And then where it's making this aspect with Neptune, Neptune connects us to higher realms of consciousness. It connects us to our higher self. So this is where that aspect of where is your intuition calling you at this time? What is the message your intuition has for you? The more you practice listening to your intuition, the easier it is to hear it. And then eventually you just flow with it, you move with it, you know instantaneously when you are called to take action, when you are called to make a move, you know the right decisions for you because there's no longer that separation. So this new moon is helping you cultivate that, helping you get in deeper connection with your instinctual self, with your intuitive nature. Now, this other aspect I'm going to mention here is less exact, but still speaks to this theme of evolution, of expanding into this new version of you. And again, in astrology, we never want to look at anything in isolation. It's about how all the puzzle pieces fit together. And that's why I love it. And that's why just looking at sun sign astrology, hey, it is fun. It's fun, but it doesn't capture the depth that is really there when we dive deeper into a chart. So this new moon is opposing Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. Not exact because Pluto's at 29, whereas the new moon is 24, but still at play. And it's actually going to build in the days following the new moon as the sun progresses throughout Cancer. We're going to see more of that exact opposition there. And Pluto is the Phoenix energy. It is about death and rebirth. So opposing this new moon, this is like deep levels of transformation. This is about acknowledging how far you have come on your journey, how you have transformed. So in the Capricorn full moon video that I did a couple weeks ago, I talked about celebrating your accomplishments, which Capricorn archetype embodies, but not just celebrating the external accomplishments, but the internal work that no one else has seen, but that eventually lead to the external manifestations. So this new moon is putting that back in the spotlight, that celebration of the internal shifts that are unfolding that you know are going to change your reality. And this can really bring you into a depth of emotion around this new moon as well, feeling a lot of things. And it's really important to remember your feelings don't define you. You don't want to block your feelings. You want to allow them to flow. And we're working with this water energy here, this Cancer new moon, Cancer being a water sign. Allow it to flow. It reminds us of the power of that emotions actually will naturally flow unless we hold on to them, we keep them in our body, we create unhelpful stories around them. Otherwise, it will flow. That's the natural progression of things. The other message that's coming through here that's very from the records, very present in the astrology that like, I'm just hearing it from the records though, like speak to this, speak to this. So we have a lot of cardinal energy at play. With the North Node moving into Aries, the South Node in Libra, those are cardinal energies. The new moon is happening in Cancer. That's a cardinal sign as well. Cardinal energies are about initiation. So this puts the spotlight on conscious creation. Where do you know it's time to move forward in your life, but you're putting on the brakes? The ego can put us in this trap of someday. Someday I'll do this. The thing with someday is it never comes, and someday is not a day. Now is where your power is. So it's really looking at what am I called to create in this moment? There's a strong, strong energy of creation surrounding this new moon. If we even look at the archetypal energy of Cancer, it is the mother energy. It's like fertility, creation. What are you bringing into the world? What wants to be birthed through you into the world? So for my fellow entrepreneurs, what creations is it time to bring forward? Is there a program that's been on your heart? Now may be the perfect time to launch it into the world. Ride the momentum of this cardinal energy, which is about taking action. It is about boldly moving forward, especially with this North Node here in the sign of Aries. Aries puts the spotlight on the self, how we see ourselves, how we lead ourselves, how we have the courage to go first when we don't know how it's going to play out, when we don't know how it's going to work, but we tap into our warrior spirit and we lean in and we trust and we go for it. Some other aspects I want to take a look at here that are really fun. is the square formation that's happening between Mercury in Leo, squaring Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. So Jupiter and Mercury in the square formation here can be big ideas, again, new creations it's time to bring into the world. And Mercury in Leo for all of us is this beautiful reminder that your voice matters. What you have to say matters. Have the courage to speak your truth. I often will tell my clients, it doesn't matter how many people are teaching or speaking on the same thing as you are. If it's on your heart, people are meant to hear it from you, and you're going to say it and convey it in a way that will speak to your soul family, that will speak to your soulmate people. So really trust that. There's a boldness to that energy. The other aspect here, and I usually don't look at quincunxes as much, especially when I'm doing these readings in people's birth charts, I definitely will. But this is speaking to me. So we currently have Venus in Leo, and on the 22nd, it's going to go retrograde. So I will speak more to that. But at the time of the new moon, it is forming a quincunx here with Neptune. So the quincunx is this dotted green line. And it's a 150-degree angle. So with Neptune and Pluto, Venus, our goddess of love, of beauty, of prosperity. So this connection with Neptune is opening us up to incredible amounts of love. And love is the greatest alchemizer. Compassion helps you alchemize old patterns and old beliefs with greater ease. When we look at things through the eyes of judgment, there's a lot of resistance there. When we look at things through the eyes of love, it allows us to see possibility. This is a very creative aspect to Venus quincunx Neptune. Venus quincunx Pluto speaks to the transformation theme, that new version of you that is emerging, that feels so true to yourself, your intuition, your innate expression. That's such a beautiful energy. The last aspect I want to look at here is Mars in Virgo opposing Saturn in the sign of Pisces. This is a very interesting opposition because Saturn is about structure and discipline and order, and Mars is about action and drive and forward momentum. So when these two are butting heads, it can feel like that part of you that's like, it's go time, let's go. And the other part of you that's like, it's not perfect yet. There's more that needs to be organized. And the thing with oppositions is they happen in compatible signs. So Virgo and Pisces are compatible energies, but they are also opposites. So until we learn how to bring both together, it feels like a tug of war. But how we work with these energies in harmony is we allow ourselves to move forward when we have an idea that is flowing through us. When we feel that intuitive nudge, we move forward, but not from a chaotic energy, from a deliberate, focused, solid, grounded energy. So this can be beautiful for creation when we know how to work with it, when we're not in that stop and go in energy where we lose a lot of momentum along the way. But instead, it's this continual flow of movement where we feel recharged along the way because we are recharging ourselves, this Cancerian energy. We're nourishing ourselves. We're connected to our intuition. Our intuition isn't going to call us into things that are damaging or draining. So beautiful theme here of co-creation as well. So those are the main energies of this new moon. I would love to hear from you below. What are you manifesting in this energy? What are you co-creating? What are you consciously creating? Also, I'm going to be doing a new moon ceremony on the 17th for my inner circle members. If you would like to join us in that space, we do new and full moon ceremonies every month. And you also have access to incredible content in there that helps you master the art of conscious creation. If you are a spiritual entrepreneur, there's also beautiful content in there that supports you in growing your business as well. Growing your business in a way that's aligned to your unique blueprint and soul path. So I'll attach the link below. I am sending you all so much love and new moon blessings, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.